Right, as South Africa celebrates Heritage Month and Heritage Day tomorrow, we turn our focus to arts and culture. Lara Foot Newton is a multi-award-winning playwright, director and producer. She's the CEO and the artistic director of the Baxter Theatre Centre at the University of Cape Town. Lara, very good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News this afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on your show.
All right, so how would you characterize the state of the South African cultural space?
Well, as we know, the pandemic has really hit us hard, the arts and entertainment world, as well as obviously restaurants and accommodation. And we've been the hardest hit. And many say that it's going to take up to 5 years to find our feet again. Mm-hmm. It's been a very difficult time. Our industry has more or less collapsed. Luckily, I'm part of the Baxter Theatre, and so we've managed to keep the flames burning. But certainly the smaller organizations, which are really the heartbeat of our industry, many of them have had to close down. And this is a huge pity for the artists, but also for our economy, because the arts sector contributes about 1.7% to GDP. So it's serious. It's very serious.
So talk to us about the role of art in a society, and in particular a South African society.
Well, I mean, art always reflects people back at themselves and focuses on humanity. And as we know, through the years, artists have been at the forefront of the struggle against apartheid and constantly fight for social justice. And so whether it's gender-based violence or politics or family disruption or any kind of issues that are important at that time, artists will explore and they will hold a mirror up to society. So really, art is a heartbeat of any healthy society.
All right, when we talk about art and theatre, there's very specific ideas of what that is in people's minds. How, if in any way, does the rise of social media affect how we interact with art in theatres, museums and more?
Well, look, I mean, social media is there and we can use it in terms of marketing and advertising. But, it's not the same as art or theatre. So it's not like we're in competition. There's the fast food world, and then there's Sunday lunch. And Sunday lunch, with the roast potatoes and roast lamb, you can't compare that. It's the real deal. So, I'm not threatened in any way by social media or technology. Theatre is a place of worship. It's a place where people come together of all denominations and ages and cultures. And there's a sharing and a complicity that is enlightening. And there's nothing to beat theatre.
Yeah. When we speak about theatre and art, though, there is a sense that it's quite an elitist space. Even though people in those spaces know that it's not and is accessible to everyone, as you've spoken about, there is still a perception about it. How do you bridge that divide between what people think about what art is and what it actually is? And how do you also make sure that the next generation of people don't go, that's not for me, it's a bit too fancy, and I actually don't want Sunday lunch, I just want fast food?
I think it's about access. As soon as young adults or children come to the theatre, then there's the possibility of them being enlightened and becoming obsessed with theatre, which is what happened to me and several others when we were in our teens. I remember going to the market theatre and changing my life in a couple of hours. So it's all about access and developing young audiences and engaging with them post-show and pre-show. And I think theatre's also softened a lot. Certainly the Baxter is very much a theatre of the people. So it's not that sort of old kind of fancy pants colonial arting. It's very much a people's place, and most of the theatres in the country have taken on that aesthetic.
Lara Foot Newton, thanks so much for your time on SABC News this afternoon.